Lion, proud and strong, learns a valuable lesson when the small mouse helps him escape from a hunter's trap. Through their unlikely friendship, the lion realizes that even the smallest creatures can make a big difference. The Lion and the Mouse. Hello everyone! Welcome to our video on the Lion and the Mouse story. Today, we will learn about a special friendship between a strong lion and a tiny mouse. This story shows us that even small creatures can do big things. It also teaches us the power of kindness and helping others. Are you ready? Let's dive into the jungle. Once upon a time, in a sunny jungle, the lion was the king. He was big, strong, and proud. But one day, he met someone unexpected, a little mouse. Let's see what happened. Chapter 1. The Jungle Awakens. It was early in the morning, and the jungle was alive with sound. The sun was just beginning to rise, casting a golden light over the trees. Birds chirped happily from the branches above. The air smelled fresh, full of the scent of flowers and grass. Colorful flowers bloomed in every corner of the jungle. Tall trees stood proudly, their leaves rustling in the gentle breeze. It was a peaceful, beautiful time in the jungle. In the middle of the jungle, the king of the jungle was waking up. This was Leo, the mighty lion. His golden mane shone in the morning light. Leo stretched his long legs and let out a big yawn. He was proud and strong, and every animal in the jungle knew it. His body was big and powerful. He looked around the jungle with his sharp eyes, taking in the view. Leo had spent the night resting under the cool shade of a big tree. Now, the sun was high in the sky, and it was time for him to get up and start his day. He stood up slowly, stretching his body. Another beautiful day, Leo thought to himself. The jungle is mine. With a confident step, Leo began walking through the jungle. His large paws made soft thuds as he walked on the ground. As he passed, the other animals saw him and stopped what they were doing. They bowed their heads or moved aside to give Leo space. They respected him, for he was their king. "Good morning, Leo," a zebra called out. "Good day, mighty lion," said a monkey hanging from a tree. Leo nodded his head. He smiled as he walked past the animals. He was happy to be the king. Everyone looked up to him. He felt proud and strong as he walked through the jungle. But not all the animals in the jungle were as big and strong as Leo. Far below the trees, in the tall grass, a small mouse named Max was busy looking for food. Max was quick, and he was always on the move. He was a tiny mouse with soft, gray fur. His eyes were bright and curious, always searching for new things to explore. Max scampered through the jungle, sniffing the ground for any crumbs or seeds. He was small, but he wasn't afraid of the big animals in the jungle. Max loved to explore and find new places. He ran quickly, his tiny paws making almost no sound. As he ran through the grass, Max looked up and saw Leo, the great lion, walking majestically through the jungle. Max stopped for a moment to watch him. He had seen Leo many times before. Leo was huge, with a golden mane and a powerful body. Max admired Leo from afar. He thought, wow, Leo is so big and strong. Everyone listens to him. Max didn't want to be seen by Leo, so he quickly ducked into the grass and continued his search for food. He was small, but he didn't mind. Max knew that he was fast and smart, and that was enough for him. He loved being small and quick, able to sneak around and explore every corner of the jungle. As Max ran through the jungle, he wondered what it would be like to be as big and strong as Leo. But he also knew that he had his own special talents. Max was fast, clever, and always ready for an adventure. He wasn't worried about being small. The jungle was full of excitement for Max. Every day was a new chance to find something interesting. He loved the jungle, with its tall trees, colorful flowers, and all the animals that lived there. Max knew that no matter how small he was, he had a place in the jungle, just like the mighty Leo. Today, however, was going to be a little different. Little did Max know, the jungle was about to bring them together in an unexpected way. The path of the big lion and the tiny mouse was about to cross, and their lives would change forever. And so, with the sun shining down on the jungle, the mighty lion and the tiny mouse continued their day, unaware of what was about to happen. Both had their own lives, their own worlds in the jungle. But sometimes, Even in the wildest places, friendships are formed in the most surprising ways. Chapter 2. An unexpected encounter. After a long morning of walking through the jungle, Leo the lion was tired. He decided to take a rest. The jungle was quiet now, with only the soft rustling of leaves in the trees. Leo found a large, shady tree. The sun filtered through the leaves, creating patterns on the ground. It was the perfect spot for a nap. Leo lay down on the soft grass and closed his eyes. The jungle around him was peaceful. Birds sang from the trees, and the wind blew gently through the leaves. The warm sun made Leo feel sleepy. Slowly, he drifted off to sleep, his breathing steady and calm. Nearby, Max the mouse was busy. He loved to play and explore. Today, he was chasing butterflies in the tall grass. He scampered through the jungle, quick and light on his tiny feet. Max was having fun, his little paws moving fast as he tried to catch the butterflies. The bright colors of the butterflies made him smile. Max also liked to gather seeds. He was always looking for new places to find food. Today, he was searching for seeds near the big tree where Leo had fallen asleep. As Max scurried around, he didn't see where he was going. He was too focused on the butterflies and the seeds. Suddenly, with a small squeak, Max accidentally ran right over Leo's paw. Max didn't know what had happened at first, but when he felt the soft fur under his feet, he looked up in shock. The paw he had run over was huge. Max froze in fear. Leo woke up with a loud roar. "Roar!" he shouted, his voice echoing through the jungle. His eyes opened wide, and he looked around. The roar was so loud that it shook the ground a little. Max was startled. He jumped in the air and looked up. When Max saw Leo's face, his heart skipped a beat. The lion was enormous. His golden mane shone in the sunlight, and his sharp eyes stared down at the little mouse. Max felt very small. His legs shook with fear. For a moment, Max didn't know what to do. The lion was powerful and strong. Max was tiny and weak in comparison. But Max tried to stay brave. He knew that panicking wouldn't help. He had to be calm. Max looked up at Leo and said, "I am sorry, lion. I did not mean to wake you up." Leo's big eyes narrowed as he looked at the tiny mouse. His teeth were sharp and strong, but he wasn't angry. Leo just shook his head and yawned. "You scared me, little mouse," Leo said. "But I am not angry." Max breathed a sigh of relief. He was still scared, but he felt better knowing the lion wasn't angry. "Thank you," Max said quietly. Leo smiled a little. "I could have eaten you," he said, "but I will let you go. You are too small to eat." Max looked up at Leo with wide eyes. He didn't expect such kindness from a big, strong lion. "You are very kind," Max said. "I will be more careful next time." Leo nodded. "Good. Now go and play, little mouse. But remember, be careful in the jungle." Max smiled. "I will. Thank you, lion." He turned and scampered off, glad to have escaped the lion's paws. He felt lucky, but also grateful for the lion's kindness. As Max ran off into the jungle, Leo lay back down under the tree. He closed his eyes again, his thoughts drifting as he went back to his nap. The jungle was still peaceful and the sun was warm. Max continued to play, but now he felt a bit different. He had learned something important that day. Even the biggest and strongest animals could be kind, and sometimes small actions could lead to big surprises. Max knew he would never forget his unexpected encounter with Leo the lion. The jungle continued to hum with life, and the lion and the mouse went on with their day. But something had changed in both of them. They now shared a small bond of understanding, one that would grow stronger over time. Chapter 3. A plea for mercy. Max the mouse was still shaking with fear. He had never been so close to danger before. The lion's roar had startled him, and now he was standing before the mighty animal, hoping for mercy. "I'm so sorry, lion," Max said quickly. "I didn't mean to wake you. It was an accident. Please don't eat me." Max's voice trembled, but he spoke as clearly as he could. "I am very small. I could never hurt you. Please, let me go. I promise I will never disturb you again." Max looked up at the lion with wide, pleading eyes. His tiny body was trembling, and he hoped the lion could see how sorry he was. The lion looked down at the small creature. He had a big mane and sharp teeth, but his eyes were kind. He considered Max's words for a moment. How could a little mouse like this cause any harm? The lion had never been bothered by something so small before. He wasn't angry anymore, but he did not know what to do. Max continued, "Please, lion. I am very small, but one day I could help you. I could help you escape danger if you ever need it. Please, let me go, and I will remember this kindness." The lion looked at Max for a long time. The idea of a tiny mouse helping him seemed very strange. The lion was the biggest and strongest animal in the jungle. How could such a small creature ever help him? The lion started to laugh. His deep, loud laugh echoed through the jungle. "You," the lion said, still laughing. "You think a little mouse like you could help me?" He laughed again, shaking his head. "What could you do for me, little one?" Max's heart sank. He was afraid the lion would eat him. But Max stayed calm and looked up at the lion. The lion stopped laughing and stared at Max. He thought about it for a moment. He could eat the mouse now, but the tiny mouse had been very brave and kind. It seemed strange, but maybe the mouse was right. Maybe one day he would need help. The lion sighed and shook his head. "You are lucky I am in a good mood today," he said. "I will not eat you. I will let you go. But do not disturb me again, little mouse. Go, before I change my mind." Max could hardly believe his ears. The lion was letting him go. He had expected to be eaten, but instead, the lion had shown mercy. Max felt a wave of relief wash over him. He could not believe how lucky he was. "Thank you. Thank you so much, lion," Max said, his voice filled with gratitude. "I promise I will never forget this kindness. I will remember it always." Max quickly scurried away, his tiny feet moving fast. He was so happy to be free. As he ran through the jungle, he looked back at the lion and gave him a little wave. The lion was still watching, shaking his head and smiling. Max knew he had been lucky. He had been brave, and the lion had been kind. He promised himself that one day he would repay the lion's kindness. The lion watched the mouse disappear into the jungle. He smiled to himself. It was funny, he thought, how a tiny creature like that could ask for mercy and promise to help him. But the lion had decided to let the mouse go. After all, he might need help one day, and it was good to be kind. The lion lay back down, stretching out in the sun. He closed his eyes and thought about the funny little mouse. "Maybe that mouse will surprise me one day," the lion said to himself. And with that, the jungle was peaceful again. The lion went back to his nap, while Max continued to explore the jungle, thankful for his life and the kindness of the mighty lion. Chapter 4. Trouble in the Jungle. It was a hot afternoon in the jungle. The sun was shining brightly, and the air was thick with warmth. The lion, the king of the jungle, was hungry. He had been walking through the jungle all morning, searching for food. His stomach growled, reminding him that it was time to hunt. The lion had sharp eyes. He could see everything in the jungle, even from a distance. As he walked through the tall grass, he spotted a deer drinking from a stream. The deer did not see him. The lion crouched low, careful not to make a sound. He was ready to pounce. With a quick leap, the lion started chasing the deer. The deer ran fast, its legs moving quickly as it tried to escape. But the lion was faster. He chased the deer through the jungle, dodging trees and jumping over rocks. His strong legs carried him quickly, and he was getting closer. The deer looked behind and saw the lion gaining on it. The deer was scared and ran even faster. But the lion was determined. He was almost there, just one more jump, and he would catch his meal. Suddenly, as the lion leapt through the air to catch the deer, something unexpected happened. The ground beneath him felt strange. Before he knew it, he was tangled in something strong and thick. The lion roared in surprise and tried to free himself, but it was too late. He was caught in a hunter's net. The net was big and strong. The lion struggled to break free. He tried to tear the net with his claws and teeth, but it held tightly. He roared loudly, shaking his body in anger. "Let me out," he growled. But the net was too strong. The more the lion struggled, the more tangled he became. The lion's mighty roars echoed through the jungle. Other animals in the jungle heard the noise and looked around in fear. They knew the lion was in trouble, but they were too afraid to help him. They were scared of the hunter's trap. What if the hunter comes back? They whispered. What if the lion gets angry? The lion was frustrated. He had always been the strongest and most powerful animal in the jungle. Nothing could stop him. But now he was trapped. He felt helpless, something he had never felt before. How did this happen? He thought. I am the lion. I am the king of the jungle. I should not be caught in a trap like this. The lion roared again, louder this time, hoping someone would hear him and come to help. But no one came. The jungle was silent except for his roars. The animals stayed hidden in the trees, too afraid to help. The lion realized that, for the first time, he was not invincible. He was just like any other animal in the jungle. He could be hurt and he could be trapped. The feeling of helplessness made him angry. Why is this happening to me? He thought. I should be the one in control. As the minutes passed, the lion grew tired. His legs were sore from struggling, and the net seemed to grow tighter. He stopped roaring for a moment and sat still, thinking. He had always been proud of his strength, but now he saw that strength alone could not save him. I need help, the lion thought, but no one will come. I am alone in this. He looked around, hoping someone would hear his cries. But the jungle remained quiet. The lion felt more alone than ever before. Then, something surprising happened. He heard a small voice. Don't worry, lion. I will help you. The lion looked down in surprise. There, standing at the edge of the net, was Max the mouse. Max was small, tiny even, and looked up at the mighty lion with determination in his eyes. You, the lion said in disbelief. How can you help me? You are just a tiny mouse. What can you do? But Max was not afraid. He scurried up to the net and began to gnaw on the ropes with his sharp teeth. I may be small, but I can help, Max said bravely. The lion watched in amazement. The tiny mouse was working quickly. He was nibbling at the ropes, one by one, slowly but surely. The lion could hardly believe what he was seeing. How can a tiny mouse like you be so brave? He thought. Slowly, the net began to loosen. Max worked hard, his little teeth biting through the thick ropes. The lion's heart began to hope again. Maybe he wasn't so helpless after all. Maybe he could be free. Chapter 5. A brave decision. The mouse was busy gathering food near the jungle's edge. He was looking for seeds and fruits to take back to his home. The air was peaceful and the sun was shining. As he scurried through the grass, he suddenly heard a loud roar. It was a sound he recognized, the mighty roar of the lion. The mouse stopped in his tracks. He remembered their first meeting. The lion had been kind enough to let him go when he accidentally ran over his paw. Now, the mouse realized that the lion needed help. The roar was full of desperation, unlike anything he had ever heard before. The mouse's heart raced. I have to help him, the mouse thought to himself. I may be small, but I can make a difference. The mouse turned and hurried through the jungle. His tiny legs moved quickly, and his small body darted between trees and bushes. As he raced through the jungle, he faced many obstacles. There were large rocks in his path, and tall plants blocked his way. But the mouse was determined. He couldn't stop now. The lion needed him, and he had promised to help. As the mouse continued his journey, he thought about the jungle around him. It was full of dangers, but he focused on his goal. He knew the lion was in trouble. He couldn't waste time. He had to reach the lion as quickly as possible. The jungle seemed to stretch on forever. The mouse's tiny body was getting tired, but he pushed through. I won't stop. I will help the lion, he whispered to himself. His determination kept him going. He thought of how kind the lion had been to him, and now it was his turn to return the favor. Finally, after what felt like a long journey, the mouse reached the clearing where he had heard the lion's roars. As he entered the clearing, he saw the lion trapped in a large net. The lion was struggling, his mighty paws trying to break free, but the net held tight. The lion looked frustrated and helpless. The mouse took a deep breath and approached the lion. The lion looked down in surprise when he saw the tiny mouse standing in front of him. You? The lion asked, astonished. What are you doing here? The mouse looked up at the lion with a calm expression. I'm here to help, he said simply. The lion stared at him in disbelief. But you're so small. How can you help me? I am the mighty king of the jungle. The mouse smiled softly. I may be small, but I am determined. I can help you, just like you helped me. The lion was silent for a moment. He had never imagined that a tiny creature like the mouse could be of any use to him. But now, with his strength gone and the net trapping him, he realized he needed help. Maybe, just maybe, the mouse could do what he couldn't. All right, the lion said, nodding. I will trust you. The mouse's heart filled with determination. He scurried up to the net and began to nibble at the ropes with his sharp teeth. It was hard work, but the mouse didn't stop. He knew that every bite brought him closer to freeing the lion. The lion watched in silence. He was amazed at the mouse's courage. I never thought a tiny mouse like you would be able to help me, the lion said, shaking his head. You really are brave. The mouse didn't respond. He kept working, focused on his task. With each bite, the net became weaker. The lion felt the ropes loosen, and he began to believe that he might be free. I can do this, the mouse thought. I will not give up. Slowly, the net began to fall apart, piece by piece. The lion could feel the net loosening. Soon, he would be free. With one final bite, the mouse chewed through the last rope. The lion was free. He stood up and stretched his legs, finally able to move again. The lion let out a loud, happy roar, but this time, it was full of joy and gratitude. You did it, the lion exclaimed. You saved me, tiny mouse. The mouse smiled. I'm glad I could help, he said. We all have our strengths, no matter how small we are. The lion looked down at the mouse, filled with respect. I was wrong to underestimate you. You have shown me that even the smallest creatures can make a big difference. The mouse felt proud of what he had done. Sometimes, the smallest acts of kindness can lead to the greatest results, he said. From that day on, the lion and the mouse shared a special bond. The lion no longer saw the mouse as a tiny creature, but as a brave and clever friend who had saved him in his time of need. The jungle, once again, was peaceful. The lion and the mouse knew that no matter how big or small they were, they could always count on each other. And so, their story spread across the jungle, teaching all the animals that kindness, bravery, and friendship come in all shapes and sizes. Chapter 6. The Rescue. The lion lay trapped in the net, his powerful body unable to break free. His roars echoed through the jungle, but no one came to help. The lion felt frustrated and helpless. He had always been the strongest animal in the jungle, but now he was trapped, and there seemed to be no way out. Just as the lion was about to give up, he heard a small voice. It was the mouse. Don't worry, lion. I can help you, the mouse said with a confident smile. The lion looked down at the tiny mouse in surprise. You? How can you help me? You are so small, and this net is too strong for anyone to break. The mouse didn't answer. He moved closer to the net, studying the ropes carefully. His sharp eyes noticed something. The net had weak points where the ropes were fraying. If he chewed through these ropes, the net would loosen. I can do this, the mouse whispered to himself. He began to chew on the ropes, working quickly and carefully. The lion watched in disbelief. He couldn't believe that the tiny mouse thought he could free him. The mouse chewed with determination. His tiny teeth bit into the thick ropes. He felt his muscles ache, but he didn't stop. The lion continued to watch, still unsure if the mouse could really do it. Come on, little friend. You can do it, the lion said, trying to encourage the mouse. I never thought you could help me, but now I see you're trying your best. The mouse didn't stop. He kept chewing, one bite after another. The ropes were tough, but his determination was stronger. With every bite, the net became looser. The lion felt a small sense of hope rise within him. He could feel the ropes loosening around his legs. Maybe, just maybe, the mouse could save him. As the mouse worked, he felt the tension in the air. The lion was anxious, waiting for the net to break. He was still unsure if the tiny mouse could do it, but he began to believe in the mouse's strength. The mouse chewed with all his might, his little body shaking with the effort. He worked faster, biting through the ropes with determination. Slowly but surely, the ropes began to snap. The net was loosening, and the lion could feel the difference. The lion's heart raced with excitement. It's working, he thought. I might actually get free. The mouse didn't stop. He kept going, fighting through the last of the ropes. The lion could feel the net getting weaker and weaker. His muscles ached from the struggle, but he knew the end was near. Finally, with one last bite, the mouse chewed through the final rope. The net loosened completely and fell away from the lion's body. He was free. The lion stood up slowly, stretching his long legs. He looked down at the mouse, who was now standing proudly beside him. The lion could hardly believe what had just happened. The mouse had done it. The tiny creature he had once underestimated had saved him. "You did it," the lion exclaimed, his voice full of admiration. "You freed me, little mouse." "I never thought I'd see the day when a mouse could do something so great." The mouse smiled and looked up at the lion. "I told you I could help," he said quietly. "You never know what someone can do until you give them a chance." The lion felt a deep sense of gratitude. "Thank you, mouse. I was wrong to doubt you. You've shown me that even the smallest of creatures can do great things." The mouse nodded. "We all have our strengths, even if they are small. Together, we can help each other." The lion looked at the mouse, and for the first time, he truly understood the lesson. He had always thought that being the strongest was the most important thing, but now he realized that bravery, kindness, and teamwork mattered more. The lion and the mouse walked side by side through the jungle, their bond stronger than ever. From that day on, they were not just the king of the jungle and the small mouse. They were friends who respected each other's strengths and learned to work together. And so, the lion learned an important lesson. Sometimes, the biggest strength is not physical power, but the courage and kindness of a true friend. The jungle was quiet again, but now the lion and the mouse knew that no matter how big or small, they could always help one another. Chapter 7: Freedom and Friendship. The mouse worked hard. He chewed through the last rope. The net broke apart. The lion stood up. He stretched his long legs and moved around. He was free. The lion looked down at the mouse. His eyes were full of surprise and gratitude. "You did it," he said. "You saved me." The mouse smiled up at the lion. "I told you I could help. You didn't believe me at first, but I did it." The lion looked at the mouse in amazement. He had never thought a small creature like the mouse could help him. But now he knew that even the smallest animals could be important. "You are very brave, little mouse," the lion said. "I was wrong to doubt you." The lion thought about how strong he was, but now he realized that strength is not the only thing that matters. Sometimes, the smallest creatures can have the biggest impact. The mouse looked up at the lion with a kind smile. "We all have something special. We all have our strengths," he said. The lion nodded. "I see that now," he said. "I was proud of my strength, but I forgot that kindness and bravery are important, too." The lion lowered his head to the mouse. "Thank you," he said softly. "You showed me that even small animals can do big things." The mouse smiled. "It's nothing. I'm just glad I could help you." The lion and the mouse sat together under the big tree. They were no longer just the king of the jungle and a small mouse. They were friends now, and their friendship was stronger than ever. The lion learned an important lesson that day. He learned that everyone has value, no matter how big or small. He learned that kindness and teamwork matter more than strength. From that day on, the lion and the mouse were the best of friends. They helped each other whenever they could. The lion never forgot the lesson the mouse taught him. No matter how big or small, everyone can make a difference. The jungle was peaceful once again, and the lion and the mouse walked through it together, side by side. They knew that true strength came from helping others and working together. And so, the lion and the mouse remained friends forever. They proved that even the smallest friend can change the world.